Yeah. We're the only ones on here. Jose's on too. Hey, Chuck. Me too. Oh,
Hello.
hello.
How you doing, Doris?
Not bad, you?
My volume seems to be really low. Huh. What was that? Sorry, say again.
Not bad, considering we got a storm coming.
Where are you at?
Massachusetts.
Oh, it's been crazy weather up there. Huh?
Yeah.
Doris. Sorry. Where in Massachusetts are you?
Attleboro. Why you?
I'm in Cambridge.
All right.
I know we're getting more snow tonight.
Yep.
It never ends.
Oh, I'd rather the snow than the ice, though, that we've been getting.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey guys, we'll be on in just a minute if she's not on yet.
You sound like a droid.
Chuck, are you underwater?
For sure.
Like a droid.
You ready to come on? Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hello. Tiffany.
I think they said Ray was going to come in today, right? To teach 360?
Wait. Yeah. Steve. Are you gonna show Steve? Okay, go ahead.
I think, Jose, I think that's going to happen. Oh,
Awesome. That's Steve, huh?
That's Steve.
hi, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Oh, we have one too. Cinnamon. Let's see if she comes in.
All right. I love you, boys. Yeah, you
Ray's
guys.
coming on next week, Jose.
Oh, okay.
She said something about talking about the book, too, so.
Cool.
I can't.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Forbes.
Hey, Joshua, I need a beautiful light back here on my face. I am late because of the coolest freaking phone call I've had in a very long time. I just got interviewed for a guy who's doing podcasts of movies of the 1980s, and my feature film, Split, is the first movie that he is highlighting. Everybody turn off your mute if you would. So if you can imagine, I haven't talked about this movie in 30 years, and now I'm reliving the joy of it. He knows me, he loves the film. He's like, I'm a huge fan, and it was just made my entire night, so I apologize for being a few minutes late. But how freaking cool is that?
That's cool.
I know, I'm so jazzed. And the second is little Miss Sandra has come all the way. Hello.
Hey guys.
She just arrived, and she's gonna spend a couple of days with me. You know, I have this intern program that Chuck and Tim started where people come to my house for a week and we do this deep dive and they stay with me and they eat with me and they work their asses off. Literally, ask anyone who's ever sat across from me. You work like 10, 12 hours a day. It's crazy. That's not what she's doing here, but she'll get the effects of that anyway. The Forbes factor, I need to work 12 hours a day. How is everybody doing? Everybody good? And let's unmute one at a time and see where that noise was. So 818-785-6565. 1, 2, 3. All right, and Chuck, I need you to call AJ, and I'll tell you what. Ooh, hello. Put that a little lower if you would. On the chair. My lighting director. That's right. I'll just move back a little bit. All right, my hair looks all wonky. So since I've seen you, let's talk about WIN obstacles and resources. Number one, thank you for all of you who are doing the homework. That's really important. For those of you who have scheduled your 1 hour with me, I've done a couple of them so far, but I am very proud of what I did with AJ, and I'm very proud of what I did with Jenny and Michael. I mean, I got to tell you, it's really good. One, I'm an amazing coach. See, Michael, I'm doing you, doing me. Chuck! Has everybody seen Michael's spoof about me? Have you not? If you shake your head if you've not seen it. Stacy, you have to go on Michael Track's page, and you must turn off my music. No, maybe you have to turn off the volume too. You must watch Michael Track's imitation of me. If he was a cross-dresser, he would be me. And the jury's still out on that one. No, I mean, it's the funniest thing. I laugh so hard I hurt myself. And thank God Jenny was a lot nicer to me, and her spoof on me is also great. By the way, Candy and Dolly, and you guys owe me a spoof. That's the last part of the scavenger hunt, you know. Little spoof video, but they nailed it. In fact, Michael, you should probably share your screen and play it so we can all just laugh. I hurt myself so much when I laughed. So for me, I do want AJ on the phone. AJ's transformation in 1 hour was monumental and indicative of everything that I teach and that I stand for. And so I'm going to share a little bit about it because it was so amazing. You have to remember, he's a coach, like I do, with Marshall Silver, who's one of the biggest speakers there is. And what is he doing in my class? Well, it's because everybody, once you get to be a black belt, you work out enough and you comes back to white. If you're smart enough, you go back to rewire yourself. You never get to the end of this journey until you die. You just don't. Because wherever you are, you can always use someone to look at you, reevaluate what you're doing. Are you being as authentic? Are you doing what you set out to do? And you're always the coffee in your own cup, right? So having a coach is always important. So he gets on the phone and he starts out with, oh my God, Forbes, you know what? I have the worst speaker deal in the whole world and I just hate what I'm doing and it's just horrible. And the guy I'm working with is horrible, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. So what's important when you're doing a coaching is to take all your emotion out of it. And I said, so what's the problem here? He said, well, I work this, so this guy puts this many people in a room, he charges this, he takes all of it. He has an upsell, I do the upsell, he takes 80 or 70% of the upsell, and I get, when the student finally, when I've sold them enough, I get $1,000 a month after like all of this. So I make no money up front, and it's a terrible, terrible deal. On paper, he's right, it's a terrible deal. But he was so depressed about it and so beating himself up. And so I said, well, let's just do a little math here. So I went down all the numbers, and I understood exactly how he does it. And I said, well, at the end of the day, how much money do you make a year doing this deal? And he said, well, I make about $150,000. I said, exactly how many days do you work? He said, well, I do 2 5-day events, and then I have to coach people throughout the year. I said, so you're telling me this guy is handing you super qualified people, and you're keeping them for an average of 6 months apiece at $1,000, and you're making $150,000 a year. Okay, so let's reframe this. Yes, your guy is making a lot of money, but he's also fighting to put people in the room and doing what he does And I got to tell you, when you divide what you do divided by 10, I think you're doing damn well. And he looked at it like he was, for the first time, he was like, oh, wow. Yeah, maybe it's not so bad. And then I said to him at some point, I said, if you talked about renegotiating a piece of it, he said, oh, he's never interested in talking to me. I said, he's not interested in talking to you because you probably come to him with a real edge and attitude about how much you think he sucks. And he's screwing you over. As opposed to the homework for him was, I need you to write him a thank you note. We're going to have a massive attitude adjustment. And you're going to write him a thank you note that says, hey, you know what? I appreciate all that you've done, blah, 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 and I want to tell you how much I'm grateful. Now, do you think that will change the attitude of the next time they have a conversation? And I watched his face, and it was like this massive light bulb went off. And I'm thinking, for you guys, it reminded me of somebody I had many years ago. She came to me and she hated her job. And she said, the people there are just horrible. They don't treat me well. All these things she just hated, hated, hated. And I said, but they pay you, right? And she's like, oh, yeah, they pay me pretty well. And they give you vacation time. Oh, yeah, I get 2-3 weeks a year. And I get benefits. And I get this. And we went down this whole list, and she did the same thing AJ did. She saw me, and she's beaming. She's like, oh, my gosh, what's going on? She said, I love my job. I said, the people are so nice. You can't believe everybody just wants to work together, and the attitude, the energy. I'm thinking, baby girl, the people didn't change. You did. You did. So when you change the way you look at life, life changes. When you stop saying all the negative things that you're normally used to saying, this is bag of bones versus you. When you stop saying those, you start to go, wow, Forbes, it's amazing. Look what happened to me. And there's AJ to confirm the story. AJ, can we see your face, please? I just told the story of our phone call. Where are you? AJ, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Forgive us. I'm with Silvana. We thought it was 8 o'clock. We are with Armin Morin at a mastermind right now.
All right, well, we'll make it work.
We were going to be wrapping up dinner and getting there at 8. So
well, we did change. All right, so will Silvana not be able to do her presentation tonight?
Not sure what to do now.
Well, see if you can wrap up 15 minutes earlier than 8.
Obviously, yeah, right?
All right, well, let's see if she can do a presentation at 7:45, okay?
Good internet connection for her to do that.
All right, so
Probably not. I don't think she'll be able to.
Okay, put us on mute. Because I would really love him to corroborate that story. But so let's go on to Jenny and Michael, who also had their 1 hour, their first one. And Michael, give me your assessment of what you got out of just 1 hour.
I think the biggest thing is that we came in, and for those that, you know, were remember the mastery class, we were very like minute one, not just step one, but minute one to figure out what we wanted to do. So it's developed from there. But the past week or two was a real brain dump. And I mean, it's just everything that was in our minds, we're kind of just getting down on paper in some form. And so a lot of what you told us in the first meeting was, this is a great step one, but now I need you to hit 2.0, and emphasizing the how you do something is how you do everything. So making sure that you're achieving the right level of mastery with everything we do, even though we're still in this draft stage.
So one of the things that they did, and I'm going to applaud this, and remember what Jenny said, if you're in the room, I'm a pretty tough coach, which makes me the right coach for you, okay? Because I am. So Jenny and Michael did the homework, which I don't think anyone else has really done, or they would have shown it to me, but it was a vision board for all of you, and Stacy, even you. Everybody should have a vision board, a 2019 vision board, okay? And I don't have mine for this year, and I really do need to do that, and I'll tell you why. It's a business plan for your mind. Now you're gonna get a little heads up. So Jenny and Michael are so excited. They did it, they had worked on it, you could tell they spent a lot of time. Do you, either one of you have it that you can show us? Jenny, is it in your house? So show it to us. And my immediate assessment was that they worked really hard on it. And I thought, okay, be very careful of the words that you say, because you never want to squish somebody's heart. So they showed this to me, and they started to go around and explain it to me. So fill up your whole screen for a second, Jenny. So the first thing I noticed was, I said, it looks a lot like a ransom note. Like they cut, that's my opinion. I said, looks like they've cut, yeah, okay, thank you, right. So everybody's laughing. Jenny's going, I'm gonna hide my face, bitch. But it does. And so I said to them, I said, and everything that you show me allows me to show you something. So hang on for a second. So I said, and he shows me the top right about fast lane and all of that. I put it down for a second. And I said, what's obvious to me is that one of the things that constrained you was by finding magazines that had phrases you wanted, correct? So I said, let me introduce you to a resource. You should all write this one down called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Canva has saved my life. It's changed my life. How can one app change your life? It did. Because it is pre-programmed to have templates that are just amazing for your social media, for your web presentations, for your flyers. And it's drag and drop. I mean, you learn this program, which takes minutes, you'll never have a presentation the same. One of my partners used to do our PowerPoints, and they were so freaking good. And I thought, how the hell does she do that? And one day she told me, well, I got to tell you, you can look like a graphic artist with this one program. It is so simple. I suggest you learn it. But then what it saves is that you guys don't have to clip and find the magazine thing that you want. That was the first thing. Now hold it up again. Hi. So then the second thing on the top left from our screen, she has a brain up there, and they were talking about their whole business, about their brain business, and they were going to call it 3T Speech Network. And they said that that was the whole basis for their business. And I said, well, that's the whole basis for a brain surgeon. I said, your business vision board needs to come from the future. If you want to own a company that is marketing and doing all that, we need to make it look like you've already owned the company. So that was a great start to go, wow, perfect. Now, so the other thing that we came up with too was because they went to the trouble of working on a name, and you guys can all vote on this, but they love the name network. They were looking at 3T Speech Network. Well, the 3T came out of the T's that they wanted to do, training, therapy, and transitional something. Well, when I hear 3T something, I immediately get confused. What does it refer to? And so your name should be something so amazing that people want to search for it. And again, really good to have this coffee in the cup thing, right? We've gotten to a point where it's now Cognitive Speech Network. Well, let's look at Jose. Look at the thumbs that just went up. I don't know if they can get that .com, but cognitive is what she teaches. Speech is allowing us to have that conversation, and network allows them to grow because they were afraid it wouldn't allow them to grow in different directions. I said, and then you can underneath that have training, therapy, and transitional something. And it's like, wow, this is it's amazingly obvious. Now go to the next piece of their vision board. This is why it's so important.
And we bought the .com.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's Gene. You got a thumbs up from Jose. And I mean, but that's how you want to do your little market research. Okay, so the next one they held up was the bottom left was their future, was their dream house, was their vacations. And I said, are you vacationing in a pond? And they got a little upset with me. No, that's a romantic beach. I said, well, it looks like a pond. I said, so, okay, you can put it down now. So what they didn't do, and what they get, but see how beautiful the fact that what they did allows you to coach. Those of you who haven't done one yet before you have your 1 hour, guess what you're going to be doing tonight? Here's what this does. The more that you do and put into this process, the more we can grow. So I advised them, I said, look, I said, 10 years from now, you own this company. We talked about what it would look like, this cognitive speech therapy company where you have, buildings around in major cities. You've got people that you've trained. You are not just doing your teaching, but you've got certified trainers in the Jenny Traver message or however we wanted to do it. But then how do those two people live 10 years from now? What's the house they live? They don't need a Rolls Royce and a mega mansion, but let's put the house that you see 10 years from now that you can grow into. Let's put the 2 cars that you like. Let's put the children if you want that, or the beach, literally the vacation, a real vacation place. I keep looking at Bali with those little homes on the water. I picked one out. I've looked at how the pools got glass. I mean, I know exactly when I walk in there, it will be exactly what I've been thinking about, because what happens, you've manifested it. So this is my new one. Don't manifest mediocrity. Write that down, Forbes Riley. Don't manifest mediocrity. And that's when I say that you guys have to dream bigger. Most of you have dreamed exactly where you are. And you say words to me like, I can't imagine living in a big house. Well, what did the universe hear? Grubhub's going, well, then don't give one of those. Keep them in that tiny apartment. Because if you can't imagine it, we can't get it. So, but be very clear, when you go to this word imagine, I don't need you to imagine, please don't say you want to be a billionaire. That's not going to happen. That's a ridiculous goal because it's so big that you'll never enjoy the $200 million that your company made that year, okay? That's what's so funny, is that a billionaire is 1,000 millions. Let's get to the first one. I always say that to people. People say, oh, I just want millions. I need $10 million to travel. I said, well, have you made $1 million? Like, no. Have you made 500,000? Like, no. I said, could we make just 35,000 this year and make you happy? And I know that sounds funny, but this is the step. So you dream big, but you dream realistically to a point, manifest it, own it, go, I got that goal, and now get the next one. And that is why a year long is a really good investment of time. That is why the hour to begin with, and 2 weeks later to see that you did the homework, and then the 90-day plan, and then the evaluation then, because you need to go do your homework. You need to let your brain cook. So, Jenny, how has it been since we've had our conversation?
Well, the first thing I realized that we both had to do was to take smaller bites of this big elephant. But we did buy the .com and the .net and the .org and whatever else was out there. And I now have, Michael, this is news to you, but I now have a Gmail for us and a YouTube account. And and I've been on Canva and I've been pulling different photos so that we can brainstorm when Michael's back from Canada. But I think the biggest thing that I've realized is exactly what you were just saying, that we have to put the work in now and make sure that we make this board exactly what we want, because we're going to get it. So to put the time in now to really focus in on what our goals are for the next several months and what our vision is for this company, down to, how big the auditorium is when we start giving speeches together and how many people are in there standing up for the standing ovation at the end, and then proceed from there.
So, Shelley, do you know those two people?
No.
What's the difference? What are you seeing? I know.
I mean, Jenny had some of that, but it's like gasoline all over it. Michael finally got a pulse. I mean, it's kind of wild.
Yes, well, I got to tell you, if you put the picture of Michael a couple of months ago next to this guy now, he doesn't even look the same. And I am so thrilled about that. I can't even tell you. So Jose obviously experienced it and is continuing to go. I'm also really liking this Wednesday inner circle now because we're all on the same path. It's a path of massive growth, of which I am also experiencing. So Sandra is in my house right now because I am listening to my own coaching and my own coaching coaches about automation and really stepping up the game. So I'm going to take all of you guys with me to do all that because I'm tired of anybody playing small. And I do know that, oh wait, Joshua wants to show what he made. Look, Joshua, oh God, really? You just made a bacon-laden meatloaf. Yesterday he was a vegetarian. What happened to you? The pendulum goes, woof. He killed a cow, he killed a pig. Is there anybody else in there you killed? But he's still doing good. And actually, Joshua has built his site. He's got his pitch finally. For those of you who saw him not do his pitch, he now has his pitch. In fact, you should probably do it for us, my love. So this is kind of exciting. You want to do your pitch? Oh, all right.
This should be a Facebook moment.
I know.
All right. So who wants to look naked?
Oh, no, wait.
Oh,
So stop for a second.
what?
Just relax.
What?
No.
You want me to say my pitch? I'm going to say my pitch. Oh, you wanted to wait.
No, it's good. I just wanted to
All right.
the light was a bit much in your face.
Got to look pretty for the camera, right?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. So who wants to look good naked? But who wants to look great naked? Well, I'm a physique champion. I have done it. Let me start. See, I wasn't ready for this.
I know. Just say your name.
No, I don't say that.
Oh, you know?
No. Okay, let me start over. Who wants to look good naked? Who wants to look great naked? I'm Joshua Self, a physique champion. I have perfected my body with only 21 exercises. But get this, no sit-ups, no push-ups, and no chin-ups. I do not teach your ordinary grandfather exercises. All mine are based on biomechanics, physics, and anatomy, all which gets you the results you want fast and keeps you pain-free for life. Connect with me at joshuaself360.com.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, so like Jenny and Michael, you're in the room.
Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up?
Where do I sign up? Right? Everyone's. I am so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so jazzed, and he got that by just being around all of you. So thank you guys for that. That was so powerful and well written and well thought out, and I couldn't be more proud. Yay! All right. So the only person who looks kind of mad is Craig. What's going on with Mr. Craig? He's very deep in thought.
Sorry, I'm not angry. I'm just a little distracted. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I just want you to be happy.
No, I'm all right.
Yeah. So you know Jenny and Michael as well, yes? Certainly from being on this. What do you see the difference from the two of them?
Oh, they just have they're just very, very focused, very, very focused in a singular direction. That's the biggest difference that I see. It's very intentional now.
Yep. So I know everyone else. So Dolly, you scheduled your phone call. It's just everybody else on this call needs to make sure they scheduled their call so that I can do that. It's about you. Forbes Factor is not always about you. So Miss Stacy, I have some news for you. So I don't know who's on 360. Who was on 360? Okay. And if you're not, I just love this platform. Yes, I know that you are. I am going to Seattle. I want to thank AJ. I'm going to do this. I'm going to head up to Seattle on my birthday, which is crazy. I talked to Tarl, who's amazing. It's a great opportunity. There's about 800 people in the room. And just so you know, I spoke with him. He's going to make me the morning general session. Then his gentleman who's been a quad amputee, who's, is going to go on after, and then the auction will be after that. So I'm going to not only do my whole thing, but lead into his introduction, and then all the things that we're going to give away, because Spin Gym is amazing for Wounded Warriors. We're going to give Wounded Warriors a free 360. We're going to give Tarl a free 360. And I think we're going to get the crowd of real estate people very excited. So for all of you, when you're clear about what you do, AJ connected that for me that easily. Think about the network of people here. I just hired Sandra because she's perfect for what I'm doing. How do you network even within this group? Because you're so transparent, and this is really important for you guys to stay together on some level, that the networking about what can come out of this is important. As soon as you say to the world what you want, we can create those things for you. So Stacy, it happens to be in Seattle. And so what I'm going to work on you for the next couple of weeks is how do I get a crew of people, because this is maybe I'll teach this a little bit, but when you're a professional speaker, there's a lot that goes into it. I highly recommend, if speaking is something that's interesting to you, that you watch Russell Brunson's How I Made $3 Million in an hour and a half on YouTube. Oh, look at that, Candy. Yeah, well, I will tell you, I was on that same stage that Russell was on, and I didn't make $3 million. And that is because, number one, it was his second time being there. So he had a clearer strategy of what he needed. And he talks about the things he learned from the first mistakes. And again, I love this. Oh God, okay, I'm just going to look at your daughter. How darn cute that, look at that. Oh, that face. Sorry, got very distracted. I'm having real baby fever. When your kids are 16, you want to go, I just want a little one. Anytime you want me to babysit, just bring her down. All right, so.
Josh is like.
I know. We have to go get a puppy. Not the same, but whatever. So the speaking, it's amazing how and I'm going to ask all of you to take this presentation that you do out to the world somewhere. Teach a college class, teach a community class, teach a whatever class. Get yourself booked at the Chamber of Commerce. There's local BNIs. There's reason to get out there to speak. Then there's techniques, one, to actually do your speeches, to orchestrate it, what you want to say, what you want the audience to feel. And then the weird one is when you really want to sell from the back of the room. There are technique after technique about that. And I'm right now, and maybe I'll do my 360 pitch next week, because I'm going to do it on the 8th. I have a 30-minute speech, which is too short for me. But how do you close people into something very quickly? What does the slide deck need to do? How is your offer stacked? All of those things are wildly important. So if you want to speak, maybe that'll be one of the things that I teach down the road, because it's important. So let's check in with everybody real fast, because I know Sandra, not Sandra, Silvana was supposed to teach her thing. Was anyone else going to teach tonight? No, it was just Silvana. All right. So Miss Dolly, let's check in with you. How is it going? Give me a win that's going on in your life. And everybody can unmute so we can do this fast.
A win that's in my life right now is I have been able to take everything that's happening and really look at things differently. Like my whole perception on what's going on in my life has changed, and people are noticing it, and I'm getting hired here, there, and everywhere to do a lot more jobs.
When you say jobs, what is it that you do?
I have started helping people change their mindsets on way that they approach business. So,
well, and are they long-term clients of yours?
So far, the 3 that I have, yes, they have paid me a 6-month flat fee.
Congratulations. Well, good. Well, one of my thoughts is get them into a Forbes Factor, and let's give you a group discount.
I'm on that. It's part of my package.
Well, and I love that idea, because I will tell you the shorthand that you can communicate with somebody going, look, you're in your bag of bones, or I'm going to give you permission, or just stop saying I can't. Or,
right.
God, people say I don't know all the time, don't they? Really, you hear that it's like annoying. Really, nobody knows anything. Well, that's good. I didn't actually know that was part of your business. How's the skincare going?
It's doing really good. We have taken a different approach to it. I've kind of researched a little bit about you and how you're doing it. And so I decided to separate the skincare from the spa, and I'm going to make it its own entity. And instead of selling the products individually, I'm going to sell it as a subscription, as a set, like an acne set. So I kind of just, researched your site on that.
That's probably really, and I talked to you 1 hour about that, because it's really important to have a good strategies with skincare, because there's so much of it out there.
Yes.
What's been an obstacle for you?
Being sick.
During the time. And how about a resource for this week? What's the big one that you?
A big resource is, let me go, I have a bunch of resources, but there is a site that I found that teaches you about SEOs and the internet. And so I've been going and doing about 3 classes a night.
Why don't you share in the chat box what that resource is?
Yes, I will. I'll let me locate it, and I'll type it in there.
Excellent. Miss Doris, how are you doing?
Good.
All right, so what's a big win for you?
Big win is we possibly some more suppliers,
Good.
so we can get some more merchandise.
And are you feeling better?
Yes.
And how about an obstacle for you?
Obstacle is getting QuickBooks straightened out.
Yep. Don't always try to do that on your own. You may want to enroll somebody to help.
I got a bookkeeper helping me, but it got messed up by the previous bookkeeper.
Welcome to my world. And a resource?
Jeff Bledsoe.
What does that mean?
I was listening to a video of him. I posted it on your site.
Oh, good. And by the way, it will help if everybody, okay, so yes, you need to post, but I'm going to say at least 3 of them comment, copy down the resources, acknowledge, say thank you to somebody. That little moment of, I notice that we're out there really just helps. Mr. Jose.
Hey, how's it going?
That's awesome.
I'm doing awesome. A win for me. I got my trucks back on track, and so I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm going to get more time now. I just got to finish out this week, and I can focus more on the marketing. Stepping up into Iman's course to take advantage of the crew.
Oh, shoot. I missed class today at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it was very, very good. One thing I learned real quick today, we always worry about the trademarking and patents. If you got the .com like they did for their site already, anything after that, you're actually excluded from it. He mentioned that because someone asked. So if someone want to steal their name because they heard it and they liked it, they're actually excluded from the trademark because they got the .com already. So they could really just name their company .com and they have it. So it kind of protects them a little bit. It's just to help them out so people don't steal their name or anything they're going.
Okay. How about an obstacle for you?
An obstacle would be, I got 3 projects open. I'm focusing one at a time to get them complete. So I want to close a couple down and just focus on one.
Now, were you going to talk about MamiBots today?
I can if you'd like.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Resources, I've been sharing a few on that. I'll keep sharing them on the group.
Good. Mr. Michael.
Yes. So my win completed first 40-hour fast. And obstacle is from you trying to eat the whole elephant in one sitting. Still trying to get better about that. And resource, this is a tip I got from Shelley a while back, but there's a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It's all about changing your mindset. It's probably a 14-hour audiobook, and I knocked it out in a day and a half.
Wow.
It's really good.
Type that in the chat. And you might want to talk to Stacy about the whole fasting thing. So we do a thing called Prove It. And there's a reboot thing that they do, which would come up next week if you wanted to order it on the 1st. If you go to Joshua Self, I'll put that in here. This is a good little resource. joshuaself.proveitnow, I think. Now.com. Maybe, I think that's it. I could be wrong. Wait, that just went to Chuck. Hang on a second. But you might, if that's interesting to you, Stacy's had tremendous success with, how do you get it to everybody? You go up to everybody. There you go. I think that's it. And if it's not, Chuck has it. Joshua Self. Prove it. Stacy, is that similar to yours? Is it your name? Yes. Prove it now? Yeah. But Stacy's a tremendous resource for understanding how to do that and just change your whole mind. She's lost more than 100 pounds doing this. And Joshua drinks Prove It every morning. And so if you ever want to, because you got it through him, just kind of text him and say, hey, dude, what do you recommend? What do you do? But since he started this, Stacy, he's not stopped. He doesn't live without his Prove It. He does the lemonade every day takes it with his BCAs, but he's very committed to that company.
Okay. And on the wins, kind of backing up what Shelley had said last week, I'm submitting the posts every day, but they're just getting locked in as pending. I guess that each one has to be approved to even get there.
No. It's because I have not. Let me go to that right now. I'm going to fix that right now. Okay. So Jenny, go ahead.
My win is having some more concrete steps of what I need to do to focus for the next couple weeks. My obstacle is being various.
Wait, be more specific on your win, girl.
More specific on my win?
Yeah.
Well, for me, the biggest challenge is that when I have a big project in my mind, it's hard for me to see what the next steps are. So I can often become overwhelmed by it, and my focus can shift from one thing to another. So by having our call the other night, I was able to really focus in on what I needed to do and realize that a lot of the concerns I had or obstacles I thought I was having weren't even supposed to be on my mind at this time. So I have concrete things that I need to do to get to the next, call with you the next couple weeks. And part of that, by having those steps, I've been able to do little things like, buy the URL, buy the .com, set up the account, start thinking of brainstorming of topics I'm going to talk about in my first course and, what kinds of ideas I want to be sharing at this point.
Love it. That sounds more like a win. So Michael, you just got pre-approved, so you don't have to deal with that anymore. I apologize. I think I just hit approve on everybody, so you should have no issue. And if you are not pre-approved, I'll do that. So just be really clear about the win. I talked to a woman today who's got 5 million people on her podcast. It's called the Champagne Diet Blog. And the champagne concept was not about champagne anymore, but the idea that you should celebrate. We don't celebrate, like, I don't know if you noticed, Jenny, we all clapped when you bought those, and that's kind of cool. To take in that moment and go, wow. Otherwise, it always just feels like work, even if you win. If you don't enjoy and celebrate and make a day special, that's why the holidays are important, or birthdays are important. It's kind of important, yes. All right. Miss Stacy.
Yes.
Hi.
So my win was attending the Funnel Hacker Live conference in Nashville for 4 days.
Along with Miss Sandra here. So you have to give us some insight. What a couple things that you learned?
Well, I'm gonna look back here. Because that's one of my obstacles. Like, there was so much incredible information and tips and so on that I need just a little time to digest and take the biggest nuggets forward. But shoot, I made notes here. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. So, so every great business begins with a movement. And so there were 4 steps that they talked about to define and unify your mission and your tribe, and then provide a clear plan to defend my movement against the attack that it's under, and to advocate for my movement louder than anyone else. So those are some key points that I am going to hone in on.
So add to that hashtag watch me.
Okay, cool.
Hashtag watch me, that's my new one. No, it is, and I started having people scream that because everyone's got naysayers. Everyone says you can't do it for this reason, that, hashtag watch me. There's a little expletive before that, depending on who fucking watches watch me, is probably good. But stop saying I can't do it. Stop telling me your limiting beliefs. And the more I teach this stuff, the more I'm hearing it so loudly that people are so chock full of it that it's, if you actually did what we talk about here, just watch how successful you guys all become. You're on the path. So the writer that did the movie that I worked on this last week, he shows me an orange paper with he's got like 6 or 8 movies that he's written, which is hard to write a movie, but he hasn't sold any of them. Nobody's buying them. Everything's horrible. And he kept going. And I'm like, all right. So I look at the piece of paper he brought to the San Francisco Film Festival, and it is an orange, bright orange piece of paper with like 10-point words on it, like the movie and then the script of it. And it's filled with words. It's like, I had this with me and no one was interested. I'm like, because nobody's interested in reading all of that shit. I said, let me share something with you. How about you take one of these, because you're not a marketer, I know, but get a guy on Fiverr to make a film poster of what it might look like, the vision that you have in big, bold, fun letters. And now each one is, oh, I don't think I need to do that. I worked really hard on picking out the orange paper. Okay, you know what? You are so committed to fighting for the limitations that I didn't have the energy to tell him differently. But his outcome is exactly what he's telling the universe. He thinks because he sent out these scripts that people are just going to open the door. No, he didn't do the marketing. He didn't make it look interesting. All the things that we learned with Russell about how to attract a customer, how to get a producer, all of those things, he has no clue. So the world just is not interested in his material. It was exhausting. You know what? I can't talk to you because I don't want to coach you. And then he was so like this. I'm like, you know what? You got exactly what you designed. I said, but you might want to stop for a second and acknowledge the win, because I didn't get paid for this film. My co-host and I, it's a short film about human trafficking, and it's a powerful subject. And I said to him, I said, you don't know what you got here. I said, you asked myself and my co-star and the DP on this movie, who owns a giant red camera, is actually a cardiologist by trade. I said, you got all of us to kind of donate our time. How'd you do that? That's a pretty big win. You might want to go, wow, maybe I am a good writer who's worthy of doing this. I'm like, yeah, you wrote a powerful script that got me off my comfort zone and said, I'm going to go do this because I think it's important. So, but if he doesn't put the limiting belief shit aside, he's never going to go anywhere. And you can just see that all over his conversation. And it's sad. So, Miss Stacy, congratulations for that. Did you learn anything practical at funnel hacking?
Well, yes, and I am in the One Funnel Away challenge now, which kind of breaks all the pieces down, and so I will have my funnel up within 30 days.
So why don't you, as part of what you teach, why don't you teach everybody something you know about funnels? Don't learn anything you're not willing to teach.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yeah, just think about it. We could all use a little tutorial on what you've learned. Good.
Okay.
And yeah, an obstacle you're facing?
Just digesting all the material and figuring out, you know, the biggest boulders to push forward.
Got it. Mr. Craig, give me a win.
Today at work, I talked to a coworker for a while about real estate and kind of gave him some good tips and resources to go look at and help him kind of get started in potentially, you know, investing in real estate.
Have you put together your free gift, the two of you?
We know what we're gonna do, and we have it like sketched out. We haven't like made it like pretty yet, though.
Okay. I'm just gonna say the sooner you do, it'll be a fun thing to have out there to the world.
Yeah.
An obstacle for you?
I have a complicated family thing going on at the moment. That's distracting everything.
Okay, I hear that, and I can acknowledge and appreciate that. Just the tone of the energy of that, I know it, yes.
Yeah.
And a resource.
Yeah, Shelly, talking me off the ledge constantly would be one resource. I made like a mini vision board / like daily affirmation thing on my cell phone, like on my lock screen. So I like stare at that and read it like 1,000 times a day.
That's a genius idea. I love that. Cool. Miss Shelley.
Hello. A win? Let me think. I think really lately, it's just Craig and I, we started intermittent fasting, and Stacey, I want to talk to you about it. And I'll also look into the Prove and Drink, but we kind of just dove into researching it. We started about 2 weeks ago, and we're essentially our minds have been blown. I'm a science geek, so I've been reading kind of like the actual physiology of insulin and how it impacts your body and your health and cellular regeneration, all that other stuff. And it's been incredible. So I will call it a win, but it's also been like a little unnerving because I can imagine when people found out that the earth was not flat, this is how they feel, because everything you've ever been taught essentially about nutrition, count your calories, exercise more, is kind of not necessarily, doesn't have the empirical data to back it up, and it's not really right. And so we're trying to grapple with what that means and stuff like that, especially on the health side of things and all the health benefits. And so that's been what we've been working on. That's a win. And then
do you think an obstacle might be my thank you gift?
Oh, that's okay. Because it was outside my eating window when I got it. And I'm like, ooh, it was just an hour ago. But no, it's okay, because the last thing I want is to just jump into something else that super restricts you. Can't eat this, can't eat that, right? The whole thing with fasting that blew my mind is that they said we've always been focused on weight loss as to what to eat, but that's only 50% of the equation, and nobody's really been focused on the other half of the equation, which is when to eat, right? And so it's really just balancing the entire equation so that you're not just focused on 50% of it, wondering why you're yo-yoing between weight or health and things like that. And so that's been what's been so incredible for us. It's like, ooh, now we get to see the whole picture. And I like it because it's also really reevaluated my relationship with food, which some of you know I've always struggled with, and really my definition of what hunger is, because you think you're hungry, but you're really not hungry. And being able to actually have a relationship with your body where you can trust what it's telling you when you are actually really hungry versus not is incredibly liberating. And I don't think I felt that freedom in a very, very, very long time. And so that's been incredible. And that's a win. And Craig and I, we talk about that a lot. It's only been 2 weeks, but like I said, it's just like shackles came off, and it was like the Forbes factor to health, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna leave that weight behind because a lot of the shackles have come off. So it's just been really unnerving, but also exciting. And the resource that I would give everybody is a book that I'm reading right now called The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. And he's kind of a pioneer. He's a kidney doctor who used to treat patients with type 2 diabetes. And the traditional treatment was give them more insulin. And he keeps getting his patients coming back to him saying, hey, doctor, you give me insulin, but it's making me fat. Like, that seems counterintuitive. And he was classically trained, so he was like, yeah, but that's just what we do, right? A lot of doctors, they actually don't know. They took maybe 1 semester in nutrition, and that's it. And so then he started thinking about it. And
Jose, how do you happen to have that book? Jose just held up the book you were just talking about.
They recommended it to me before too, so I think it was Shelly, and I got it on. I put it on right away. I have it as one of the next ones I'm going to read.
It's one of my Change Your Life books. The one that Michael just recommended, I think, is one for mindset, and this is definitely one for like health, like the most important thing in life, which is your health. It just really like, now again, be prepared to kind of have your world shooken because believe me, you think the world's flat right now, and somebody's about to drop that bomb on you and it's round, and you're like, what? Send them to the
Stop going back to one of your habits. Stop saying the word like.
Okay. Like. So that's my resource, which is that book, Obesity Code, and I highly recommend it. They actually just came out with a new book called The Longevity Something, which is less focused on weight loss and all the empirical studies and stuff associated with weight loss, and more just on health in general. So if you're more interested in just overall health, I would probably say that the new one that they just came out probably is a good one. And then
here's a question for you. You received something today, yes?
Yes.
What did you receive?
From you?
Just me and Chuck.
Yes. I received a beautiful edible arrangement gift from Chuck and Forbes. A thank you gift.
Well, so here's my question to you. How did that make you feel?
About
you and Craig.
It made me feel really appreciated and thought of.
Okay, so I'm going to throw that out as a metaphor, and I do appreciate you guys very much. When's the last time that you and your business sent a handwritten note or a thank you to someone? Because based on how they're feeling, we don't do this enough as a society. Because I love that you said that you make you feel, I think that's one of the coolest things you can do for someone else. Everyone says they always want to change the world. One of my resources is say thank you to somebody in a unique way. It could just be a handwritten note. And one of the things that we start to do in this class to figure out who we can write those to so they feel good about us, and it begins this wonderful karma in the world about you. So it was kind of a nice moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was so happy to do, because this is what, again, this goes back to win. We don't help other people celebrate their win, right? So everybody just think about one person that you could write a handwritten thank you note to right now. Just one person. And it's not an email, it's not a text. It's actually, you got to go a little piece of paper that says thank you, and say, hey, thank you for being special in my life. And I will tell you, the act of you doing that comes back to you in a way that you can't imagine. So just pick one person and do that. So thank you. Mr. Mariano, I hear that you had a rock star week. Mr. City Gala.
Yes, I did. I went to City Gala because of Teresa. She invited me to come out. So that definitely was one of my big wins for this weekend, getting to go to that.
Why? What was it at that was impressing to you?
I don't know. It was like really cool.
Oh, wait, did you say I don't know? So stop that shit. Okay, I'm sorry. What'd you say? It was really cool.
It was very cool. And there was a lot that was very cool. I actually bumped into Dr. Bill Dorfman there. And on top of that too, it was just out of the blue. I did not get expected to get an invitation to that.
Okay, pitch it a little better to people. What there was thing that no one has any idea what you're talking about. So you went to City Gala and it was what? A better word than cool.
Spectacular.
No, not a word at all. They have no idea what it was. So pitch it to them. You know, a couple of name drops or people that you heard or things that you saw.
Yeah. So when I went over there, I got to meet up. I bumped into a marketing genius out there his name is Manny Fernandez. And he gave me some really awesome tips on how to stand out in the Instagram world and the power of leveraging your network and creating groups to where you have like networks, and it's going to help boost your likes and comments, because every time you post it in the group chat, and everybody in the group goes out and supports each other.
So say that again so everyone can benefit from that information.
Yes. This is definitely a huge resource. So basically what you want to do, what he did, since I was one of the Hispanics there, and he pulled up together a bunch of group of Hispanics, and he says, here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to add each other to this group. Every time we have a post, we're going to post it on here. And then it's our job to go out and like and support each other, because we're Hispanics. And then he says, you guys are young. You guys are the future generation. But he says, you could do this with anybody, though. So, like, for our group, we could do that for either.
Wait, is there a group? Wait, are you talking about a group in Instagram?
Yeah, you just like, you know how you go to the DMs? You just create you add everybody to the group in your network.
Okay.
And then when you post something, it's that person's job to go out, like, and support and comment. And what this does, he learned this from a guy named Lewis Howes. So what happens is when you're getting so many likes and comments within a period of time, especially when you first post it, it's going to put your post at the top of the feed of everybody else's feed.
Okay, so how do you actually, if we all went to Instagram right now to act on this resource, how do you put everybody into a group?
First off, we all would need each other's usernames, so that way we can add each other to that group.
Okay, so why don't everybody type in their username right now here, and you make that resource. I have 2. How do we get this off?
I'll do it.
Thank you. Now we have everybody's username, and Sandra's going to make some magic happen here. You're going to know how to do this, yes?
So we're gonna take this whole list and
Yeah.
add it into
No, actually, take your unmute for a second, and I'll mute. Oh, you can take that whole list. You're going to add that into Instagram.
Yeah.
And create a group for us. Yes. Okay. And then
Is
so
everybody done?
I don't know if everybody's done just yet. Shelly, I don't know if we have you. Do we have that? Mariana, what did you just post? What is that resource?
That's just the link to go straight to my profile. So if anybody's the person that's adding and doesn't want to have to type my username, they just go straight to that with that link.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Also, just give her your name as well since she's typing.
I did, yeah.
Savannah, are you on here? Dolly?
So Stacy at Incredible.
Stacy is.
That sounds like an email.
Wait, Stacy, where did Stacy put hers? I don't see Stacy's.
Is that? Oh, okay. So it's the very first message all the way at the top. So never mind.
Got it. So, all right. So now that we've got everybody, we'll put them into a group. And then when you get a message from the group, what do you do with it?
So, for example, let's say you were to post something today, Forbes. The second you post that, you go to the top corner, copy the link. And then when you copy the link, you go in that group and you post it in that group. And then when we get the notification, we go out and we like and comment it. It's more convenient though. Instagram works too, but if you have like a third-party messenger group, so that way you can add multiple people, because Instagram you can only add up to 10 people. How Lewis Howes does it, he has Telegram, and with Telegram you can add up to like 40, 50, even 100 people into that group.
What is Telegram?
Telegram's a messenger app. It's very similar to GroupMe, WhatsApp.
Okay.
So we could do, it doesn't have to be Telegram. It could be WhatsApp. It could be GroupMe. A group that could fit multiple people, at least more than 10, because 10.
We already
on
have the
Instagram-
WhatsApp group.
So
Yeah,
we do have a
Instagram is only for 10
WhatsApp.
people.
Now, how does somebody in our group who's not on WhatsApp get there?
They can't. They have to be a member of the group.
Well, no, but hang on a second. So how does that work? So if I type in WhatsApp, again, I'm just, you know what I discovered? WhatsApp.
In WhatsApp, you're an admin. You could add everybody there.
Okay, so I will actually give Sandra my phone. Now, what in WhatsApp, what do I have to do to get you?
You could make her an admin and she'll be able to do it on her own.
Yep. And then you could type IG boost or Instagram boost.
Right now, the one we have is with Ray, and them on that group is part of the Forbes Factor. But you could just take that list of everybody and shift them over to another group for IG Boost.
Exactly. Yep. But
got it.
that's how Lewis Howes was able to get up to 1 million followers. That's one of the tactics that he used.
I love that.
You could do this inside your inside the Facebook group also, to where they everybody posts their link to their Instagram and all that, and everybody goes and kind of copies and follows along with it to comment too to boost them.
Yes, Mariano, so we have to be following.
Wait, hang on a second. Let me turn this down.
Yes, you need to be following each other.
So we all have to go follow each other.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we'll all follow each other. There may have to be a little follow-up meeting about this.
Yeah, really.
Well, because some of us are, you know what's funny? Mariano, how old are you?
26 now.
Yeah. So for Stacy and Doris, and it's probably it, unfortunately, I kind of figured out something as I was sharing about all of these new systems and things and all the resources, because I did a Voxer thing the other day. If you've never used Voxer before, it's great and it's weird. And I'm using ActiveCampaign, all of these things. And what's so funny is people who are in their 20s and 30s, you guys don't know any different. This is your world. I'm trying to unlearn what it's like to put a cassette into a tape recorder and press play. So I do feel, and I think what's interesting though, now think about this as a market, or teaching what you know, Mariano, is that going after baby boomers who have money and are overwhelmed by all of this. That is how an agency is born. Yeah, look, Stacy's a little overwhelmed. I have a lot of clients and a lot of friends and a lot of people in my circle, because I'm still part of that group, that have no idea what Instagram is. Okay? And they'll go, oh, I don't need another one. Well, forget that. They don't have a CRM. They don't have so many things in their business. Bob Martinez falls into that category. So many of the people that are your parents' age, many of you, but want to know. So maybe you think about, Mario, what it's like, or anyone else in terms of being young in the business. What does it mean to go after that audience? Not arrogantly, but say, hey, look, I've got a group of resources that if you just do 3 of these is guaranteed to change your bottom line.
Hey, Forbes, this is the Telegram site right here. And what they do is you post your link there and you go click on it, and instantly you have to go and you comment and like on them. So it pulls up when you post it right there on the site.
And do you get that as an app?
Yes, it's called Telegram. I sent the link.
All right, cool. Well, that's why Sandra's here to help us old folks.
Sandra, once you put all the lists together, can you just email it to us? That way we could just go add everybody on it. We're not going through this whole.
I have the list already, so.
That is an awesome idea. She's amazing. All right, let me go down the list so we don't lose Mariano. Thank you for that. That's crazy. Candy Lynn, go for it.
Okay. Recently, I just reconnect with one of my friends that I haven't talked to her for a while. And the first thing that she saw me, she's like, oh my God, there's something, you look different. And then when she said that, I was like, oh, you mean my haircut? She's like, no, there's something different on you. I was like, what is it? She's like, you look more powerful than before. I was like, okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing? She's like, yeah. Before you like so shy and then like you are in your own little circle. Right now you are just like the different person that I met. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, and then she's like, you should keep it up the way you are doing right now. I was like, yes, I will. And I'm like so excited when she said that to me. I was like, yep, that's the new me.
I love that. And you know what's great is that, so can everybody applaud you. So that everybody can see that. Go back to the beginning real quick. I look at Sandra right now. Sandra, tilt up a little bit. And if you were to watch Sandra's video when she first met us in the room, that's not her. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, Joshua just brought something in. I'm going to take a moment. This is his win. He built this as the opening to his new, check that out. This is what he built. Does it change? That's going to be the beginning of his website.
Woohoo!
I know, right? Oh, you should make the last one go so fast. Should stay a little bit longer. But congratulations, give him a round of applause. He's in the other room working his ass off on all of that, so that's very cool. It actually feels very productive around here. It feels amazing. So Candy, you're stronger. How does that feel?
Feel amazing. And then I just love it. It's like I can do anything now, you know. It's not like, oh, before I would just make like a lot of excuses like, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that because the way I look, because my height, because this. I will make a lot of excuses. But now I was like, forget about those excuses. Who cares about, like, you know, I have to try it at least. And then whether or not it's work or not work. But, you know, I step out that comfort zone.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a fan of Nick, is it Vacecek? Have you ever seen him speak? Nick was born without arms and legs. He has like a little flipper for one little, that's how he can actually move around. And I would say that he is probably more unusual looking than anything you could ever imagine, correct? No arms and no legs. He is now the father of 2. And he's married to a normal height person. He's a normal height, he's a normal torso, but that's all he is a torso. That's a little odd, you think, you know? Talk about going out in public and have people stare at you. You want to look him up because he did a video once that, he does a lot of videos, but this video, it was like a whole bunch of circus performers and somebody on a joke throws him into the water. And by all means, he should drown, right? He has no arms and no legs and he survives it. And I remember just watching this whole video. It's part of his whole motivation thing. He sits on a wheelchair that comes up. So when you meet him in public, he's at your height, right? And his big thing is give me a hug because I remember I met him in Dallas. And you know how crazy I am about spin gym. And I say anybody and everybody can spin gym. I met the first person who actually couldn't spin gym. And it kind of took a breath for a second going, wow. And he's like, give me a big hug. And I want you, see, the rest of us don't have as big, or at least in our heads, any kind of issue about how we look. We all, you know, wish we were prettier or thinner or richer or tall, whatever it is. You have your thing in your head about how you think you might want to look. I think you look just perfect the way you are. I think you are spectacular. I think you are super fit, super fun. And your height is your height. I love it. I just love everything about you. You know, and I've talked about you a lot because you're so ridiculously inspiring to me. And you are really cute and really kind of perfect. You're just in a different, I don't know, perfect.
Different style.
Say what?
Different style?
Not even different style. You're just you. But then you look at Nick, and I got to tell you, you should go watch a video of him. And if somebody can pull up his last name for me, it's Nick V. Just kind of Google him a little bit.
Yes, it's, put the thing. It's Nick, Vujicic.
So Candy, I want you to watch some videos.
Vujicic.
I call him Vacecek, but it's not that. I know, I make my own poll. I don't know.
It's Nick Vujicic.
Yeah, Shelly put it in the chat box. And I want you to really spend a little time thinking about him. Because you're perfect, just so you know. He can't ever touch his children. He can't ever do a lot of things that you take for granted, okay? And there's his family. Was it 4 kids now? I don't know how he does it. Apparently he has something that works very well. I don't know. but he is the nicest, confident man. I have another one, friend of mine named Emmanuel. What's Emmanuel? Emmanuel was on American Idol. Look him up. He's a dear friend of mine. His story is that his mom in Iran threw him in a garbage can because he was completely misshapen. He has a normal head, and everything else about it is really odd. He's only about 3 feet tall, but it's odd the way his body's put together. But he sings like an angel. And actually, that's the song I'm going to play tonight, because you got to watch him sing, and it will blow you away. But he's a good friend of mine. So I love that your girlfriend thought that you look different, because you do look more powerful. I'm excited for our one-on-one call to get you to your next level. So that's what I'm going to say there. Miss Sandra.
Okay, so my biggest, is there going to be an echo now? Okay, so my biggest win for, actually, I haven't been on any of these calls, so my biggest win for the month is I started the month in Tampa, and I'm ending the month in Tampa. I'm here in Tampa working on a special project, so I'm pretty flattered that I was invited to Tampa for this project. And I have been on pretty much a travel tour since the beginning of February, so it's exciting because I don't think I've ever traveled this much in 1 month. This is my 3rd time in Tampa this month. And I think I have like an overload of information that I just haven't been able to process fully, but I'm still on the go, and I'm going to continue the momentum and just keep going. One of the biggest obstacles that I've had this month is that because I've been traveling so much, I do have a little boy with autism, and he's regressing a little bit. So I know that next month I'm just going to plan on just trying to pull him back and get him back on track. And my biggest resource has been my family, just being able to support me through this, support me through the fact that I'm trying to do all the self-growth, trying to figure out what's
You're not trying anything.
I'm doing it.
You're experiencing self-growth.
Thank you. And yeah, so my family, Darlene, she's on here. She's been a big support for me, and knowing that they have my back while I'm while I'm doing this and while I'm experiencing this has been amazing. And yeah, he's really the only reason why I was holding back and trying to take the leap, do fearless shit, and now I'm doing it.
I love it. All right. And let's see, Miss Silvana.
Okay, so my biggest win, and this is not going to be from today, but it's pretty big, and I forgot to mention, I think, on our last call. I was spending the last week with a friend of mine, and this is a breakthrough after the breakthrough that you've done with me, Forbes, which I want to really thank you for that, because I felt so fucking empowered. So the friend of mine I know for about 5 years, and I've spent some time with him in Miami, and I was cooking something in the kitchen, and this is only friend, so there is nothing romantic, or it's just pure friendship. And as I was in the kitchen, he passed by me and he like smacked me in my butt. And immediately, without even like thinking about it, I said, do not do that. And I look at him with this confidence and straightforwardness. And he was like, oh, don't be silly. I was like, no, do not ever do that again. And I set those boundaries with such a confidence and without even worry if he's gonna like me or not. And I haven't done it in the past because before I was trying to be too nice to men when something like that happened, you know, in the before. And that created a really, I think, more respect and space for me. And I felt really empowered. And I was like, wow, before I didn't have enough, you know, courage to do it because I was afraid that someone will not like me. So that is something that it's a big win for me. And it came to me very unconsciously. It was like, you know, yeah, I can do that. So thank you for that, Forbes. Yeah. And
no, actually,
yeah. Oh, okay. So this is a win. Now the obstacle, I'm still improving my scheduling and my organization. I have a lot of things going on, lots of travel, which is amazing, but I need to be way more organized and wake up earlier than I used to. And I'm gonna share with you gold nuggets about it as I'm improving my morning rituals. So next week, I'm gonna really help you guys out with this presentation, which is already ready for you. And also the resources, the resources, I'm gonna put here my Google Calendar because this is so important to have scheduled even your free time with yourself. And apart from business meetings and your business stuff, like scheduling everything, it's important, not only for me to know what I'm doing the same day, next day, but also what I've done in the past. So when I look back, I see, oh, okay, I actually had a very productive day, week, etc. So that's the resource, Google Calendar. AJ, okay, yeah, go on. Yeah, you. They can hear.
Microphones. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I got a few great wins. One of which is, as Forbes says, coffee in the cup. And even though I teach, positive mindset and stuff, there's some things that have slipped and I just did not notice it because of what's in there. And my coaching session with Forbes really got to, oh my gosh, it's like, freaking loser mentality there. It's like, what the heck? That's not me, but I just didn't know it because I was a coffee in the cup, right? So now that's pointed out to me, I can shift that to, winner mentality, something bigger. So my dreams are bigger, because of that, and that's fantastic. That relieves a lot of pressure as well. Just the other couple quick wins is just I'm so happy to bring Charles and Forbes together. It was like, oh, that's such a good opportunity for both of them. It's a total win-win there, and I was just so happy to make that happen. And it was something else I really wanted to say too, but it'll come to me. There's just a lot, some good wins there. As far as the obstacles go, I think the universe thinks super highly of me because as soon as I conquer and reframe one, it goes, oh wow, you did so good with that one. Here's another big one. It's like, fuck. It's like, don't think so highly of me. But whatever, it's like, okay, I'll deal with it. I'll reframe it, I'll do it. But geez, let me breathe a little bit.
Resource.
So as a resource, I want to actually, it's a quick lesson. So it's 6 questions that I ask myself when I don't know what to do next. So hopefully you can play this back or write the questions down. But the first question is, what do you want? Because until you want something, no action is taken. So what do you want? Question number 2 is, what dangers might stop you? I didn't say what obstacles, what resistance. I said danger because this is something that will potentially stomp on your dreams, prevent you from providing for your children or prevent your retirement or something. So make it scary. That way you feel compelled to do something about it, right? What dangers may stop you. Number 3 is, what business resource do you need to learn? Number 4 is, what personal resource do you need to learn? Number 5 is, whose help do you need? And number 6 is, it sounds simple, but it's the most profound, most powerful one, is simply asking yourself, what would make everything easier? So these 6 questions has always helped me figure out what I should be doing next.
Great, I love that. I just typed that in. Everybody wants to copy that. So we won't be going this in-depth every week with win, obstacle, and resource. But what I'm liking hearing as a coach standpoint is the way your minds are thinking right now. Right now you're acknowledging, okay, that's a win. I got to find a win every day. I got to find, oh, what's the obstacle? And then what's the resource? What am I looking for? What is helping me grow? And in fact, that's what AJ has actually written. Business resource, personal resource. These have been invaluable. You don't need to implement them all or overload yourself. We're going to put together a manual. You guys will be getting that in a week or 2. Right now, we're really trying to get the first Forbes Factor book done. And it's got 33 authors in it, so you can imagine what it's taking from my entire crew over here. But I want to say thank you to everybody. What a great week. Next week, we will hear from Silvana. We will hear from Jose. The two of you will take up most of the hour, okay? So get ready. Make it very entertaining. Yes, Jose?
I gotta go to Mexico next week just in case I might not make it. I have a backup step in. I gotta go down and transfer some things.
Okay, well, just in case you don't, I'm sorry we ran out of time today, but it seemed like a very valuable class to get through all of this. So will somebody volunteer to take his place with what they have to teach? Could be Stacy.
So I'm doing my part, right?
Yes, you're already booked for about 15 to 20. I need one more person. So Dolly, you just volunteered. Thank you very much. That's great. Trust me, you can. Josh just did his pitch and you heard him. He could have done that last week. I do want to take a moment since it reminded me. I'm going to take out my Spin Gym because that's how we like to end each call. And I'm going to share my screen. And it's not really a Spin Gym song, but I will tell you, you just reminded me to reach out to my friend Emmanuel.
Every day, every night. My mates say, you know, what are you singing, mate? Just shush, we're trying to concentrate here. So, yeah. If I went X Factor, oh, God. Words can't even describe it. Wow. Hey, man. How you doing? What's your name? Emmanuel. Emmanuel. So who's here with you today? My mum, my cousin, my auntie, and my brother. How old are you? Well, actually, I'm not exactly sure. When I was originally found in Iraq, in an orphanage, my mum found me. I was born with no birth certificate, no passport, nothing. My story is that I was born in the middle of a war zone. My brother and I, we were found by the nuns in a box in a park, in a shoebox. They brought me to the orphanage and we'd hear shots, noises that we didn't understand. It was like looking at an angel when Mum, Moira Kelly, walked through the orphanage door. She brought us both to Australia for surgery originally. And then sort of Mum fell in love with both of us. My hero would have to be my mother. She worked very, very hard, extremely hard, to change my life hugely. You know, some people say I was a man without an identity, but with my mother and with my brother, I believe that I can do this, you know. Wow, good on you, man. Thank you. Good on you, man. So what are you going to sing? I'm going to sing Imagine by John Lennon. Beautiful. Oh, nice. Good luck, mate. Thank you. No heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. I promise only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Yeah. Imagine there's no country. It isn't what to do. Nothing to live or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living Manuel, that's for you. Listen to the orchids. I don't think I've ever been moved as much as I was by that performance. That was magnificent. Your courage, your bravery is unbelievable.
Emmanuel, you kind of won us over from the minute you stepped on this stage. Just had this peaky grin and this confidence. Everything about you, I just love.
Emmanuel, you're a great singer. And I'm not saying that you've had a hard life because it's the thing to say. Compared to the other people here, regardless of your story, you've got a beautiful gift and you moved everyone in this room. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to commend you on your courage and your bravery. It's really moving and really touching. Above all, you thoroughly entertained everyone. Everybody here was smiling. And for that, I thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Emmanuel, we have to vote. I would definitely like to see more of you in this competition.
It's a yes.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to see. Yes.
It's a yes for me. It just makes everything that you worry about.
We need some tissue.
So that is my friend Emmanuel, and I need to invite him on to our platform one night to give a little speech. What do you think? Would you like to meet him? Yeah, so I can make that happen. So thank you. So Candy, how are you feeling right now? No, take the mute off. Take the mute off.
I think I'm pretty lucky, you know, the way I am, because look at him. It's like he has no arm. And then I think I'm very lucky, you know, that I have like each one of you, my families, and I don't know. It's just like, why you have to show that video? Why you have to make me cry? 没有了. It's and then it's like, I just, oh my God, can't talk right now. It's like, since he can do it, I can do it. Since he's famous, I'm going to be famous one day. So you guys better watch out.
Thank you. Okay. Jose, what are you feeling right now?
It made me feel like really there's no excuses. Look at how well he's doing, what he's doing, the confidence, everything. I mean, the things I said I lacked, it's like, why am I making up stuff? Look at, you know, whereas we're more than blessed with all the things we have and the things we could do. Just I need to take a lot more action.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty profound statement. Dolly, you want to say anything?
It's definitely amazing to see, like, the spunk, like nothing, it doesn't matter. This is life, and you're just going to go out there and you're just going to do the best and be the best. And it's really cool. It's really inspiring.
Mariano?
Pretty much they hit it on the nail, but how I felt personally, like if he could do it, anybody can succeed in this life. It's just the want and will to do it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything? Feel free to unmute, and then we're going to end tonight. Shelley, go for it.
I was just gonna say, it was incredible. His voice is incredible, but it just made me realize what chicken shit a lot of us are, because we all have gifts that we're unwilling to share with the world. And thank goodness he had enough guts to share that with the world, because it's so beautiful. And it's not really a matter of if he can do it, we can do it, but just human to human, he, stepped up, and it's time for the rest of us to step up, because we all have gifts.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so very much. See you guys on Wednesday. If you've not booked your appointment, do it. And I will
8 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
8 o'clock or 7?
We're going to do it from 7 o'clock from now on. It was too late for me to end it. I couldn't deal with my kids. So they asked me, Mommy, can you move it up a little bit so you can spend some nighttime with us? And so it's
7 o'clock.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Perfect.
I'm glad you guys.
Thank you so much.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you. See you. Good
Thank
night.
you, Forbes.
Bye. Good night.
What's good, Jose?
What's up, man? How you
How
doing?
you doing, man?
Good.
Nice.
Everything good? See how long they kick us out? No. All right,
Who's
Chuck.
left? We got
Chuck's-
Michael. All right.
Yeah.
Peace. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna kick it down in a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think ways.
Yeah. He's playing. Got it. Hey, Chuck.
What's up, Chuck?
You doing good, Chuck? How'd it go on your appointment?
I think he's online.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you.
All right, bro. After the next webinar. Peace.
Yep.